how you're going to carry out your business and sustain it. Once you're done with the training, you're normally undertaken the process of filling in the loan application forms, and thereafter the proceeds are tendered into your bank accounts. And thereafter, there's normally supervision on how you're utilizing the funds in your business, and also providing you with more information on how you can sustain your business. I know the question will be how long and what type of the loans we provide. I would like to start off by saying that the Better Plan has created job opportunities for the youth. And starting by the Jobs Maju, Youth Fund is one of the funds that assist or facilitate for the youth so that they can travel abroad and work. And how do we do that? Normally, we urge the youth to check the information in the National Employment Authority website so that they can get to know the legit and genuine employment agencies, and so that they are not conned their money. So what we normally do, we provide the youth with a loan of 300,000 so that they can facilitate, be it their visas, be it any other necessary documents that you normally need for traveling. So we provide the 300,000 for you, and we also provide pre-departure training. The reason why we provide the departure training is to make sure that we provide to you cultural orientation. You need to understand the environment where you are heading to, and as well as financial literacy, how you're going to manage your earnings once you're there. And at the same time, is to prepare you mentally and psychologically so that you're fit and you're comfortable and knowing that you're going to work so that you can earn and so that you can invest back in Kenya. So YESA is one of the products that we provide as Youth Fund. The other product that we provide is agribiz, and agribiz is in line with the plan in terms of food securities. I know most of you would like to get into farming, but they just don't know where to start. As Youth Fund, we provide a loan of 300,000 to 2 million for those that are interested in agribiz, whether you're doing cash crops or different types of crops. But besides that, the question is, where are you going to sell this product? And you can see all these government agencies work together and make sure that we provide markets for you. And one of the fundamental uh, obligation of Youth Fund is to provide markets for the youth as well. As you can see, you've had PS speaking about East Africa trade and the marketing, the way you can market and sell your products there. So as Youth Fund, ours is to link you up with partners, to link you up to the market. The other products we provide is group loans. I know most of you are asking yourself, yeah, we cannot take these loans because they have interest. We have quite a number of loans that do not have riba interest, starting with the group loan. You can take from 100,000 to 5 million, as long as you have a registered group and you have a bank account. We undertake training for you, and we also give you the funds so that you can start up your businesses. And within the group, we also have another product that has no riba. Assuming you're in a group and you've already taken a loan from us, if you want to take a loan as an individual, you can do so, and it has no interest as well. So we have different types of loan products. Talanta loan in line with the creative industry, and we know that the creative arts contributes to the country's GDP hugely. And as Youth Fund, we'll be promoting talent, be it singing, art, different types of talents. So, comrades, for you to transact, you must be a risk taker. For you to become a business person, you must be a risk taker. We have also come up with a product which is Sharia compliant, just to make sure that you're comfortable from getting the funds from us. Now, how does Youth Fund link up with Hustler Fund? We have borrowed a lot from Hustler Fund, and we can see that it's really working for the youth because initially Youth Fund used to provide loans from 100,000 onwards, and we normally used to ask the youth to provide securities. But we borrowed from Hustler Fund because Hustler Fund provides as low as Question would be from the comrades is that how long the payment period? The payment period normally is 6 months. For example, if you take 20,000 to 100,000, that's between 6 to 9 months. And we don't want to put too much pressure on you. We normally give you a grace period of 3 months before you start paying the loan. And at the same time, if your time has lapsed and you've not finalized on paying the loan, then you can just do a letter to us requesting for extension of time, and which we do so. For those who are comfortable taking loans that have interest, the interest rate is 8%. We also have LPO and LSO financing, which we fund 70% of it, and we also do asset financing. I don't know whether my time is up, yes, but in case of any questions, I am happy to obviously answer and to provide more information. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you are able to highlight on that. This round of applause, you're able to highlight on the fact that there is riba-free loans. So thank you so much. Maliva?
Let's clap for chairperson, Fatma Barayan. I know there's normally the politics about chairperson, chairman, and the others. She's a lawyer, and legal people like ST and herself know that chairman means all of them. Now, very, very, very much appreciated for how far you've actually broken that down. I like the brevity. Now, Mr. James Minor, we have got affordable housing. These comrades want to know how they can benefit, how they stand to benefit from the housing project. If it's something that they have got business with, anaendelee kusema comrades power. And it's also important to remind people that comrades power is the second most powerful power after the power of God.
Thank you, Mariba. Comrade power. Comrade power. You know, once a comrade, always one. Thank you. Before maybe I get into the hard actual benefits for affordable housing to the students, and I know all of you have hit boots in a good way. Let's first of all get to the hard facts of the challenge of affordable housing currently in Kenya, why affordable housing, and what opportunities it has given us, because this program, as much as it is ambitious, has granted huge opportunities to students and to the Kenyans today. Today, our urban population growth is at 4%, among the highest in the world. Just recently, we have grown from 2 cities, now we are 5, with a huge number of urban areas which can become cities, but they are not yet granted the charter. By 2050, just a few years to come, most of you will be alive by the grace of God. 50% of Kenyans will be living in urban areas. But one thing is very, very important here. Over half of the population living in urban areas today is living in formal settlements. This is despite the pronouncements of our constitution. And when Kenyans went to write the 2020 constitution, they were very clear in their minds that housing is an issue, because under Article 43, 1B of the constitution, housing is a right. Every Kenyan has a right, accessible and adequate housing with reasonable level of sanitation. That is the constitution. And those are the numbers. Now, again, in this backdrop, we have a population of the level of unemployment in Kenya starts as last year at 5.68%. And in absolute numbers, so that you see, live from percentages, we are producing 1 million people into the job market. Of course, this is the biggest challenge. We are only able to absorb 200,000 the affordable housing comes in between with fulfillment of construction of houses for our people and providing employment to our people. And that is where the opportunity lies. Let me put it in a more proper way. Our ambition, the government's ambition, is to produce 250,000 units. And that is the demand, totality. Over the years from 1992, when the government stopped investing, and it was investing zero after the structural adjustment policies of 1992, and after that careless level of not producing housing to our people by the successive government, what has happened is that we have 2 million houses that has not been built. And that is the number of people who are living in informal settlements. So, and this question has always been saying, why don't you leave the private sector to provide houses? The private sector has been doing so over those years, and we're only providing 50,000 houses. Only out of 50,000, only 1,000 units which are affordable. So, and the World Bank has written this information through a peaceful research that even what is available is not accessible. Let me come to the students. Before I come there, let me also say one of the reasons that makes housing very expensive, among them is cost of rent and cost of capital. And this has been the biggest driver even to the private sector. And the levy of 1% of the income from the employee and the income from citizens, as well as the contribution of 1.5 from the employer, now creates that capital. That capital has the capacity now to produce these houses, and it can be leveraged upon. So don't take the amount of money that we are able to collect, around 60 to 70 billion, and divide it by the cost of a unit, and they say this is the number of units you can build. This money can also be leveraged to 3-4 times. The financial experts are there. Some of you are studying financial, real estate finance, and these are areas that are huge sources of employment. And I'm going to come to that. But let me now get to the students, because this fund has, among others, one, fund the construction of houses, fund mortgages, and the other one most important aspect, social infrastructure, as well as institutional housing. And institutional housing, one important is the student hostel and student accommodation. And this is a direct benefit. Today, we have put in budget, the design are almost complete. We have been on this for a very long time because we had, first of all, to call students and engage them, and you have engaged some of your student leaders in the design of the student hostels. We have engaged you, that engagement is done. Now we are just about to get the tenders and get into that. We have 181 institutions. Probably by God's grace, before the end of this year, we have started the tender procurement process. And 36 universities. Out of that, we will have approximately 75,000 hostels for the students across the country within another period of 2 years during the construction time. So, here, the data that we have over 402,000 students in our universities and over 360,000 students in our TVCs, TTIs, all those tertiary student accommodation. Only 10% of the students live in the university. And they live in very expensive places, very informal areas, which are not conducive for learning. And you know all the benefits that comes with staying in the university. You are close to proximity, you don't have to commute. There are social amenities which are associated with the student accommodation and which you construct. You have networking at the university. Most of us, when we are on campus, that's when we got married and immediately we left. But that is where we are able to network and got our spouses. And so once you are exposed outside, this is not a good environment for learning. Currently, we have more than almost 100,000, 100 projects with over 130 houses under construction. And this has created over 160 jobs. The jobs are the direct jobs for workers, laborers, engineers, architects, quantity surveyors, plumbers, name it. Those are the direct jobs. And the value chain is very long. From the factories where the cement is made, steel, doors and windows. And in particular also, and this is also an opportunity for students, particularly the students who have an investment and a mind of doing business, particularly when you leave school. We have taken out all the items that can be taken by the Juakari sector and SMEs. And out of all these projects, we have set aside doors and windows, balustrades, all those items. And the total price for that is 4.4 billion Kenya shillings. This money will go directly into the economy, to our SMEs, and to our Juakari sector. Now, this is the other benefit for you as a student, particularly if you are a student doing subjects related to directly to the built environment. These projects, we have engaged 33 consortiums. And these consortiums have over 300 professionals in them. And we have engaged them for design and also for supervision. But against that element, we want them to have and attach our students. We are currently processing the first 2,000 of the students that are going to be attached to this profession so that we can grow skills. They can get
in a minute and a half.
Okay. They can get their training and they can get their skills. And during the training, comrades, you can transact. It's not a free training. And like where in school you have to pay. Here, we have programmed this properly for you. And finally, the other element you have heard the president has announced, our first initial project will be started rolling out from next month. We have started the sale and allocation of these houses, and we will engage people to sell these houses through the real estate agent and companies. We move out everywhere in the country. We have projects. We have currently almost 5,000 units that will be complete. Maybe December and January, they will complete in different times. But our first lot of projects, in our lot one project, will be finished towards the end of this month. And we started now selling them and handing over to Kenyans. Maybe you give me another opportunity. I can explain how to access and buy an affordable housing.
Not maybe, definitely, you will have another chance to actually have a go. And as we spoke, lest I forget, just a light bulb moment, we already have got policy that requires of government procurement to include 30%. So as you go out to give real estate agents to sell government houses, please remember 30% for these comrades. Comrades power. Comrades confirm. Comrades transact. Viva, comrades, viva. Quite quickly, I'd love to bring in Boto. Somehow, the load keeps on being cast away from me. I'm unable to ask the ladies questions, but hopefully in the next round I'll do. So, Boto, please, we have got a young lady here called Uba. A question for her?
Yes, definitely. Miss Uba, as a young person, in women leadership? What are the challenges that you face in the politics? What are the challenges you face in the society and in your space?
Standing on the already established protocol, good morning. Comrades power, comrades power. Viva comrades, viva.
Viva.
Viva comrades, viva.
Viva.
Mbona hamna nguvu? Anyways, challenges. Honestly, at times it's difficult competing with our male counterparts, but I wouldn't say it's a challenge. I feel like it motivates you and builds you as a person. They're not okay. I wouldn't say there's so many challenges, but I feel like the challenges I face are the same challenges my male counterparts face, and through the party, I'm able to get access to things I wouldn't access on a regular day. I'm able to come here and talk to my fellow comrades in my own hometown. You know, they didn't give up, man. They give me. So I wouldn't say they're necessarily challenges, but being associated with a party like the ruling party, the UDA party, there are so many things you can overcome. They necessarily become an afterthought. Yeah, so I wouldn't say there are any challenges personally. I'm really glad with where I am, and I'm building myself politically, and also I'm building myself as a student leader. And I'm very grateful to the SG and the party at large for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's clap for Uba. Allow me to say this, that from her submission, you realize that UDA empowers. We have got a young woman who's empowered. She says everything else is made just fair again. Situpigie makofi chama. So, naiona mmesahau. UDA. UDA. Kazi ni kazi. Now, we understand one of the reasons why we actually have ensured that we have got a comrade here is that we know as a party that whereas we might not be able 100% to prepare the future for our young people, we can in the least prepare our youth for the future. That particular bit is not lost on us. I'd love to bring in Professor Machuki at this particular point because I'd love him to talk about the new funding model. And Prof, I know this particular quarrel you and I have always had. I do not want introduction, principles, foundations of new funding model. I just want to tell these comrades why it is necessary. And as much as there is a part of it that is actually in court, you can actually talk to them so that then we understand. In this particular era, there's too much disinformation, and even people who are learned like comrades are busy sloganeering. So, Prof, take it away.
Thank you, Arnold. It is important to note that I sit here not only as a member of the President's Council of Economic Advisors, but as a university professor. When you restrict a professor not to give a background to something, it becomes very difficult. All said and done, you can never have a new university funding model called new if there was not an old one. So the old one is the one that you have to provide background about what were its weaknesses, its challenges, and why the new. And therefore, without doing much of classwork, I want to echo one thing that I said, that the president has intent to entrench constitutionalism. The new funding model, for those of you who will quickly check, is anchored on the Constitution in 2010, Article 43.1 on the right to education, Article 56B on issues to do with minorities and marginalized and vulnerable groups. The new funding model brings them in. Article 55A talks about the affirmative action, and Article 27 talks about equality and equity and freedom from discrimination. So the anchorage of the new funding model, SG and Madam Chair here, as lawyers and Senator Ngatana, the Constitution is a part and parcel of your reference materials, right? So that Constitution that constitution imperative led us to look at the differentiated unit cost that was initiated 2016-2017 to fund universities. One, the differentiated unit cost was developed by considering a number of parameters, averaging them, and determining the cost of a program. And therefore, for those of you, and that is the advantage of me talking to students in universities and colleges. For those of you who do statistics and you know the effect of the averages, the average is not the exact number. It aggregates some parameters and gets some figure that is not the exact or amount of some quantity that you want to consider. So the differentiated unit cost, having considered those averages and came up with the cost of the different programs, it then disadvantaged some of the universities because the cost will be considered standard across, but then the level of facilities and development of different universities will not be taken into account. Number two, government was to fund 80% of this differentiated unit cost. Household and other contributors will do 20%. Ever since it was established, government never made that part of the bargain. The first that it did highest was 67.8%. And up to the year 2002, when the Kenya Kwanza administration took over, it was declining to that 8%, meaning that universities were becoming insolvent because not enough funding would go to them. And it was also university-based. Universities will say, we have this number of students, and therefore capitation will be based on number of students, without really looking at which student is from which background doing which program. So on that basis, we then established that when it could be a capitation to a university, regardless of the student's background, capitation will go to a university and all students will be funded at the same level, except when they apply to meet the cost of 20%, applying to help. When they apply to Higher Education Loans Board, the information that the applicants will be supplying will be used to determine the amount of loan that students will get. Within that particular thinking, it was then viewed that the differentiated unit cost left gaps. The one is that the students from vulnerable backgrounds will not have access to university education because funding did not consider their economic background. Number two, many universities, and you have seen this is not something that I want to guess here. Many universities over time went into indebtedness, and 23 out of the 47 public universities were declared technically insolvent. So now, let me highlight the benefits of the new funding model and the rationale behind it. We analyzed and found out that if you want to bring on board everybody, including students from the humble background, first and foremost, we need to delink admission or placement by the Kenya universities and the colleges placement services and the funding. How? Students will be placed in universities, and once they receive their admission letter, the universities were asked to provide the actual cost of the programs. In that admission letter, you will find the actual cost of a program. If it is Bachelor of Laws, if it is Bachelor of Science, Biochemistry, if it is Medicine, and so forth and so on. Now, those actual costs, you will then be asked to apply for financial aid from government, so that funding does not go to the university, but funding is going to the student who expresses the need, and they will provide information to determine your level of need. Students who come from humble background and the students who come from families that are able, then you expect their level of need to be different. That is, those are the two things. One, to aid universities from their financial crisis. Two, to ensure that students from vulnerable backgrounds have equitable and equality in terms of access to higher education opportunities. Now, Bwana Maliba, allow me to then demystify this issue of banding, because that is where problems come about. When you apply for a loan or for a scholarship, there is information that you are supposed to provide. This information is your family background, the siblings, and your parents' occupation, and so forth and so on. That information goes to build your means testing information. Means testing in order to test your economic ability and validate that economic ability. That is what is called the means testing instrument. Using that means testing instrument, and together with the data that was available in the 2020 Kenya National Bureau of Statistics economic survey, we use that information to also link with the household bands. The household bands, according to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics economic survey 2020, which we used, indicates that households with 995 and below annually are the most vulnerable, and households with 120,000 and above are families that are able. In between there, you have 5995 to 23,670. You have a range up to 70,000, and you have a range up to 119,999. So in there are the 5 bands. Those 5 bands were then used together with the information that is provided by the applicant to be able to build, to mean test the applicant. The vulnerable students will then be able to get 70% of scholarship and 25% of loan and 5% household. Those from able families that are in band 5 are able to get 30% scholarship, 30% loan, and 40% household contribution because you are able. In between there, the level of funding keeps on graduating given your banding. Now, the most important thing that happens in this new funding model, Arnold, is that the information students or applicants provide sometimes is not the correct and appropriate one, and you find students who are from vulnerable backgrounds being banded in band 3, band 4. That is where you used to have issues. Now, on the basis of the many other issues that have been raised, some of the Kenyans, because Kenya is a democracy, it has landed in court and we have a process there. But the president, being a listening president, constituted a broad-based committee with clear terms of references in order to look at into specific issues and be able to improve and or enhance this model. But the bottom line, the model is based on equity and on equality in terms of access, and also get universities out of their indebtedness. Thank you.
Thank you. Please clap for Prof. I have seen a number of people who didn't clap. Wewe, simama. Na wewe. Just stand up. Just stand up. The two of you. Haraka haraka tu, we need to move. Ninyi wawili, at least macho yangu iliona. Wewe na wewe. Simameni. Okay. Nataka mpigie Prof makofi. So that tukisema tupige makofi kila mtu apige. Comrades, power!
Power,
Comrades, power!
power.
I'd love us to move very fast and get into the interactive session, the open mic session. We agreed when we spoke in the morning that one person, one question, and if you have got a comment, you do not want to ask a question, I can give you 2 minutes. I'll repeat that. One person, one question, and a question is a minute. If you have got a comment, 2 minutes. Sawa. Then, Prof, before we forget, just a challenge. I'm thinking so that probably it is something you might consider as you respond and think about it. Why then don't we think about allowing people to indicate their band of choice? Because the means testing tool is what is contested normally. You'll get that in question. So probably in the future, allow us to choose the band we think we believe. So that then the means testing tool is our way of defending why we think we belong to that band. Just a thought, because literally the other day we were asked what makes you think that a teacher is rich? Having said that, any other part that you need to respond to for the panelists, please, you listen to the questions, and then if there's anything you need to fill, when you respond, you fill into that. I'd love my sister Moto to actually get to the question on that end.
This is the Q&A, and I believe women are given opportunities to come first. Comrades, this is your opportunity if you need to ask any questions.
So we have got ushers. If you want to ask a question, you raise your hand. The usher will see you, and then my co-moderator will actually take you through. You ask for a mic, introduce yourself, the institution you come from, question or comment. Yes? You have a question? You have a question or comment? Okay. So I assume that on that end there are no questions. On this end?
Okay, we have a question. Sorry, Maliba, we do.
Okay.
1 minute.
All protocol observed. Salam alaikum. I am Amina Ahmed from Garissa Teachers College. Here is my question. Despite the party focus on the youth, there is often disconnect between young people and the political process. What strategies will UDF Comrade Power chapters adopt to engage, mobilize, and move the young people actively participate in both national and local political process?
Please clap for Amina. Any other question on that end? So that when we move to this other end. On that particular end, I'll be mean. I'll only take questions from
Take
ladies.
the question here. Another
Okay.
one.
All protocol observed. Salam alaikum.
Salam.
My name is Aisha Ali, a Garissa University student. My question is, we have so many students in universities that are facing these challenges. They stay in campus for 3 months studying, and at the end of the semester, they are not able to sit for the exam. So my question is, how are you going to give a helping hand to those students? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other question on that end?
Yes, one more if possible.
At the back, I think. I've seen somebody. I think in the Bill of Rights, we should add the right to exams.
Hi everyone. My name is Leila Hared Sugo from Umma University. And my question is, and I was hearing our prof talking about the scholarships. And I want to say that as students from Garissa County, and we always see that in scholarships are being given to the well-off and family students. And I want to ask, how are we overcome of helping vulnerable students and well-off students in the universities?
Thank you. The question of fairness. I think
We
one
have
more.
one more.
Yes.
Veronica Moinzi, student, Garissa University. Actually, mine is about the house levy funding, whatever. So you talked about the house funding, how it will be, how it will be of help in coming 2050. 2050, from what I'm seeing, there is Mandamano. And through the Mandamano, a lot of youth, which are comrades, are dying. Others have been abducted. So I feel like we will be living in prisons, not in those houses. Because most of the comrades here are being abducted, others are being killed. Through, and we are not undermarrying for other things. We started from the finance bill until now, simply because there are things that the government is doing, and si hakuna maoni natoka, maoni iko from us. This is like a public participation, right?
Yes.
And we are going to give views, but the question is, are you going to listen to the views, or we are going to continue with the mandamano and the killing of comrades
Thank you, Mwinzi.
and abduction of comrades?
Thank you.
Those
Mwinzi.
houses, I bet the government will be living there 2050, not us. We're living in the prison.
Okay. Let's clap for her properly. Like I said, we have got freedom of expression. Now, quickly to Mwinzi, I know this one I'll leave to the SG to respond to it and the other politicals around here, but I'll tell you this, that number one, we are a listening government. In the wake of Mandamano, we changed a number of things. When you spoke, I listened. Just listen, give me your ears. So, in the wake of Mandamano, number one, you realize that some of the things called for, like the change of the cabinet, was done. Policies were altered. The president has continuously made the review of policy. And I spoke to this earlier on, that number one, your role as a citizen does not end at casting the ballot. Public participation is not a joke. And as a party, we deliberately are coming out to young people so that we co-author and we co-curate the government that we want to live in. First of all the mistakes that you actually cite out, no one can make excuses for them, and the right action must be taken for it. Having said that, I think we gave that side enough time. Now it's time to actually take on this end. I want Anasha to actually help me. So you go to that end, we will deal with this end and then come here. Don't worry, I'll see you. For our panelists, you take notes and then you will respond.
Very much. My name is Hamza Abdimad, the chairperson of Garissa Students and Youth Association. To Mr. Isaac Maura, you clearly actually narrated to us.
Let me just come.
Mr. Isaac Maura, you've actually narrated to us how it was challenging to win an election back in the university. You've also told us the SG when Hassan Omar was also a student leader at the Moi University, right? This clearly indicates that you understand the vital and the importance of the comrades. Now my question to you, when Isaac Maura, and to the SG of the UTA, what plans does the party has to empower the comrades, also the Garissa County Comrades chapter? Because we believe we as the Garissa County Comrades chapter, we need to have our own elected comrades chapter representing us. We also need to have an established office in the UD offices. This Garissa County Comrades chapter will be an office whereby it will be having the data of each and every student in Garissa County. Once this student actually graduates, the government, through the data that has been actually annotated, they can link up to them opportunities in concerning their area of study. To Madam Fatna, concerning the youth fund. Are you aware, Madam, this youth fund actually is a very, very important fund, because when the youth in Garissa County access the youth fund, the dependency of youth will reduce. But my question to you is that, how many youth in Garissa County are aware of the youth fund? How many of you here, comrades and youth, are aware where the office of the youth fund in Garissa County is located? Do you do enough public participation? Do you engage the comrades? Do you actually do capacity building workshops so that you train the comrades and the youth? When you give them these funds, what kind of business investment they should give a priority? Because are you also aware that the revolving fund was launched by the county government of Garissa this week? The governor of Garissa County launched that 80 million for the revolving fund. But the question is that how many youth in Garissa County are aware what the revolving fund really entails? Are we actually, has enough training been done? To the last question to Mr. James Minor, Director, very important point that if I don't raise, it will be an offense. To Mr. James Minor, you've actually told us that the housing levy, how it is going to benefit the students. Now my question to you is that, you know, Garissa University is the only university that we have in the entire northeastern region. Meaning that the government should give a topmost priority to Garissa University. It does not only serve northeastern region, but the entire country, because students studying Garissa University come from across the country. The face of Kenya is well represented in Garissa University. But now that actually, how, if at all the housing program will come, what assurance are you going to give to us that these hostels will be built on time? Because the population of Garissa University is increasing, and we have actually to catch up with other people. Thank you very much. Comrades, viva!
Viva! Please clap for him. Clap for him. There is one from this. Just a moment, I'll come there. Let me finish with these guys here. Your name, institution, and question. And I insist one question because I'd love us to leave at exactly 12:30. So if you take 5-10 minutes, the others will not talk. And I'm giving a priority to comrades.
Good afternoon. It is almost 12:04. That's why I'm saying afternoon. My name is Salat Ali Hussein. I'm ambassador for peace and security at Garissa University, currently doing his master's in peace and security studies. Mine is just a comment and a question, just a clarification and a question also. One, my comment goes directly to the presidential advisor in terms of economy. That is about, we have seen every day there is a president appoint people, nominate people, all the positions. But what we are seeing as a youth, we're watching it from far. It's just recycling all people. We have seen last night the president appointed former KDF Defense Forces as former CDF. And we have seen other appointments like, I think for the last 1 week, around of 40 appointments were dished out. But unfortunately, all of them are going to political loyalties and other people who have been given opportunities since Moi era. So my question is, my comment to the president is, just give president that the comrades from Garissa, the youth from Garissa, and the Kenya at large are saying, let the youth given the opportunity. Lastly, I'm not just a member of UDA, I'm a live member of UDA. I'm a live member. If you search today my ID number, it will show you that I'm a live member. One thing we are worried about as a youth, we are always being used and dumb. You know, youth may not have money to campaign for governor seat or any other elective seat, but we try our luck for nomination slots. What happened? The political leaders or the MPs or the aspirant on that particular regions or that particular constituency, what they do, they nominate their own cousins and their own relatives at their position. That is the list. Just to convince us, they give us, they use our name in the Gazette notice for the last, that is number 20 and below. While their own sons and the daughters appears in the first. What kind of plans do you have as the UDA party to give priority for unknown, for the poor and the marginalized people in this region? Thank you very much.
Please clap for him. Just stand. What did you say your name is?
My name is Salat Ali Hussein.
Hussein, first of all, thank you for being a life member. Because loyalty is actually rewarded in installment. But I'll let the SG answer the question eventually. But then they'll take care of that. Thank you very much. I just needed that taken care of. Also, now you realize why we gave women the first chance, because men are taking a lot of time. We would actually have stripped them of an opportunity. So men, the shorter you make it, the more you speak. Thank you. I'll move so that then we also have got a variety.
Comrade power. Comrade power. So my name is Malik Baraka from Garissa University. Okay, actually, not a question, nor a comment, a critic actually to Prof. I know you're all here to defend the government, India. Okay, explaining that's defending. Thank you. So, Prof, I think you have to agree with me that the new funding model is just an excavation of inequalities, and the new funding model put a lot of administrative complexity. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Somebody behind here. Okay, allow me to also pick here.
Please, someone.
No, Dania, at the front. We will come for another round. Your name, institution.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Comrade Power, UDA.
Kazi ni kazi.
UDA.
Kazi ni kazi.
First of all, allow me to welcome our guest. Hapa ni Garissa. We are from Garissa County. Nataka niseme karibuni. This is your place, feel at home. Secondly, I'm called Abdul Qasim Ismail, one of those who formed the UDA party. I joined the UDA party when it was formed. I was also a candidate in Masarani Ward, Ijara constituency. So I have heard that there's what we call inclusiveness. What I can assure to our SG and our guests is that no support is given to the youth who are aspiring to be politicians. No at all. That's what I can tell you. I was the only UDA candidate in that constituency because I believe in the manifesto of UDA. But regretfully, no person, any politician, awe nani, naomba unipatie nafasi.
Kindly.
Please. It is a comment also. Give us time, please. No financial support, no encouragement, nothing at all. So when we talk of youth inclusiveness, politically, economically, and when the right time comes, hakuna support unapata kutoka the UDA party, jameni, sitakuwa tu ni kudanganyana. It will be like that. So I want to ask our SG and our UDA party to actually be loyal and to make sure those who want to be in this party, especially the youth, to be supported financially, morally, and to be encouraged so that they can be the right leaders of tomorrow.
Thank you.
Finally, I think we're going to have a grassroots election, which was supposed to take place in last year. I can tell you, Awezi, you are doing a very great job. Since you came, at least I can see from a movement fulani hapa. Like it's gaining momentum, the party. That's what I can tell you. It is my hope, and I want this message to be given to the president. Those who are going to win the seat, especially the youth, to be given in salary. That's what I can tell you, and that is going to be in a way of even supporting them. But tukisema ya kwamba wewe sijui ni manager, wewe sijui ni nani, wewe ni nani, and at the end of the day wewe umevaa tu yellow na hakuna kitu yote unapata, jameni, how are you going to sell the agenda of the party? Is it possible? It's not possible. Then I want to echo.
Thank you.
Finally, I want to echo to the message of my brother Salat. When it comes to nomination, what I can tell you is that the big ones, the haves, are the ones who are going to have advantage. That's what I can tell you. So it is my hope. It is my hope and prayer that our new SG will take a decisive action. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. At the back here. Can I have this one? And I think we went back together on the other side. Please, quickly, your name.
Comrade Viva, Comrade Power. I'm Judy Kimaru Cheriot from Garissa University. I'm also from Elgeyo Marakwet County. And I have a question, and it goes to all of you. How are you going to include the comrades and the youth? And how are you going to create awareness, the mobility for the new funding model, the youth funds, and also the workshops on the talent search, and how are you going to help the youth to develop their talents? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please clap for him.
Comrades Power. My question, my name is Abdullah Osman Mohammed, student president from Garissa Teachers College. And my question goes to the director. Since UDA is the ruling party, how can affordable housing policy benefit comrades in terms of economical stability and well-being? Thank you.
So, Mr. James Maina, how can the affordable housing put money in the pockets of comrades? That is the spirit of UDA.
Hello, Shurey Musa from Garissa University. I have one question and one comment. The question is, let me say comment. Let me comment. This is an opportunity to talk with my fellow Somalis. Very, very great opportunity. We are all one. What is currently happening in Garissa University is very, 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 very wrong. The true ability, the true strength of Garissa University lies in its ability to rise above tribal line. As we're speaking currently, there is an ongoing election in Garissa University. What we all want is common people, one love, one people. Kindly, it's very crucial to reject tribalism. Let us embrace unity where everyone is valued based on competency, character, and contribution. Thank you all.
Did I get your name properly?
My names are Shurey Musa Yusuf from Wajir County, especially Wajir East.
Especially and specifically. So we've taken a round of questions. Allow me to allow the panelists to respond to it. We will be back. But then I'd love to begin from that end. Whatever question comes to you, we allow that it flows. Your microphone, but for everybody, 2-3 minutes is enough, maximum.
Let me just go direct to the question asked. The students hostel in Garissa University.
Let's give focus to the panelists as they respond so that you don't repeat the same question, and where they miss out, you write out a note and share to me, especially if you ask the question. Silence, please.
As I had earlier on intimated that we have several projects tied up. Garissa is in our budget. 1,200 hostels will be built. And I've said in a very short while, before probably the end of this calendar year, within our budget, which ends in 2025 June, the budget is very clear and our procurement is very clear. We have money for 1,200 units. The only delay was on the design, which we had to consult the students because we didn't want to build something that you come back and reject. And we have had a meeting with student leadership in Kwale, and they told us what they want, and we have done the input. Now we are preparing the tender document. And beyond that, there are several TVCs that we are going to work on. A total of 2,500 student hostels will be built for TVCs in this region. Now, direct benefits. Currently, and this is where you hang on to prove. And by the way, I'm a public officer, I'm a professional, I'm not a politician. I'm speaking what is in my budget and where there is money, and it is in the procurement plan. When you have those two things, you have nothing else but implement. And we are empowered by the government. Parliament has approved that budget, the money is there. Here, I think it's a 9-meter, is either 10 to 15 from here. We have a project of 408 units, affordable housing units under construction. The construction, I think, started 3 or 6 months ago. We are approximately around 12% in construction. We are doing foundation. And the students who are doing uh, related courses to construction. You get direct attachment in your 3 months. Normally you are given. You can get it in that construction site or any other construction site within Kenya. And you can also, once the units are complete, you are also eligible to buy as long as you have an ID. Do I tell them how to access an affordable housing?
Please tell them.
Okay, simple. The home ownership journey starts with you dialing on our platform, which is an online platform called Mayagu star 832 hatch. It's here on my chest. If you do that, you start your home ownership journey. You may not have money.
Please repeat. Star 832 hash.
Yes.
I've heard
Star
that, Mama.
832. So, what you do, it's a saving program. You save up to 10% of the unit you want, and the units are valued. You have social housing, which are all under 1 million. You have affordable housing, which are set for middle income people, and for market units, which are set for people with an above average income. It's for all Kenyans with an ID and citizen of the Republic of Kenya. And this program does not limit you from paying full amount if you have, from taking a mortgage. You may also not have enough money, the 10% deposit required. You can also apply to the fund for to be assisted to raise that fund. And then what about the payment? Monthly payments, they are being given to either pay through a mortgage, all at 10%, 9% for the market units, 6% interest for the affordable housing, and for the low income earners, 3%. Then you are given a long duration of time to pay, which is up to that years if you like. If you want to pay earlier, up to you. If you have money earlier, you pay. But the guarantee it gives you for you to have the home is that you move into the home, pay what we normally call tenant purchase. You just be paying on an average equivalent to the rent probably you are paying. And this time you don't pay to the landlord, you pay for that unit to be yours. And of course, because you are young and you are mobile in terms of moving the whole country, you have an opportunity to transfer your unit to Nairobi if you want to go back to Nairobi. If you get a house in Nairobi, you can move from Nairobi with your deposit again and your payment where you have reached. Select another unit because the houses are staggered. Select a unit and then you live in Nairobi for some years until you can move around. Just mobility like you're moving with your car. You can move around with your house. Now, once you go for an attachment here in affordable housing, there is a word you call transact. You will be transacting, you will not be paying to the program to be attached. The program aims at creating those skills so that when you leave university, you don't have to go and say there is a job being applied and requires experience. The skills you get, you also get that day's work payment like any other worker in that project. So yes, this program is real. These are no jokes. It is real. And I've said therefore there is still another one project which will be coming up here in Wajir towards the end of this financial year once the designs are complete, and it will also have 1,000 units, which is still under my budget. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's clap for Director. Just before the government spokesperson comes in, when Director started, he said that, just have the mic. You have the mic, spokesperson. he said that he's a public official and therefore he speaks what is in his plan and what is in the procurement plan. He said he's not a politician. Of course, it sounded as if we, the practicing politicians, are people who say things that are close to the truth. I just needed to tell him that the most important job on earth is being a mother, the second one is being a preacher or an imam, the third one is being a politician, and then the fourth, a public servant. Now, having said that, government spokesperson, there are issues for me that I would love you to respond to. And when you speak as the government spokesperson, the nation is listening. We are here, we're listening. When you raise issues about the fears that young people have, specifically in the wake of some of the cases that have been reported about abduction, young people being found dead, it is an issue that is actually of concern to young people, and it's one we cannot gloss over. Please respond to that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Arnold Mariva, for your good moderation. Let me first begin by speaking to the issue of Yusuf from Wajir East, Musa. You know, God never made a mistake for us to be a country called Kenya. And fraction is part of the whole. And what does that mean? From here in Garissa, from where I come from in Kiambu, from where the SG comes from in Mombasa, from where the treasurer comes from in Kisii, and we knew each other when he was a youth, very vibrant. I remember coming to Jubilee Party that time with somebody else, I don't even mention, receiving him with Aden Duale, yeah, that time. We are one country. We are one country. Let us embrace the spirit of nationhood and patriotism. And that is why in my office, we have the Uzalendo Initiative. You can see me in this car, so that we are proud of our nation, because together we are able to do more. I am happy about Garissa University. I remember counseling some students after the terror attack, somewhere, I think in Nakuru, I don't remember, I found them somewhere. They were going through a therapy and I met them there. So this is national. I was telling PS Dubat here that when you are flying, now Garissa is becoming a city. So just to buttress what James Miner is saying, so we want that nationhood. So I would want to encourage you, let's love our country. Let us love our country. And we are discussing with CS Ogamba to see whether we can introduce the Kenyan creed, like akin to what used to be the law different, but to the country. And then we have our flag, you know, as a symbol of unity, because it is very important to move forward, and that nobody should be discriminated on the basis of their tribe. Now, let me come to the issue of, because actually, tribe robs us of our collective sense of purpose. Let me come to the other issue that was spoken about, appointments. Actually, there are young people who are appointed by the president. Maybe their names don't shout because they are new. You know, if you talk about retired Major Kiboshi, he is famous. He's been the head of the military. But if you talk about a young person like Abdi, who is not well known, you may not see it in the headlines. So sometimes headlines go with Evans Kidero, with those kind of names. But they are there. In the cabinet, we have Eric Muga Muredi, who is the Minister for Water. We have 4 PSs, and the dean of the PSs is here. You know, we have actually ambassador. There is a deputy ambassador to China, Ambassador Lynette Mwende, who is actually a young person. So there are many people who are board members, CEOs, and we encourage that. Of course, the median age of Kenya is about 20 years. So increasingly, we are going to see young people. The other day, I was on a radio show. Before, I used to go there and I would be the youngest. But when I went to Nation FM and FM with Mariam Bishar, I was the Mbabas. So things are really changed. Tukubali, tunazeka. The other issue that I want to respond to Arnold and the team. So that question was from Abdi, the question about appointments, and I'm sure Prof will be adding to that as well. The other question I want to respond to is from Hamza. Hey, Hamza, the currency of politics is loyalty. The currency of politics is loyalty. And if the business is about transactions, the political business or the business of politics is a transaction of relationships. Please note that. A transaction of relationship. Nasikia mkisema transact. So power is never given. It is taken, my brother. Use that comrades forum, create structures, talk to the SG, he's here today, so that then you can be annexed and become part of maybe or the UDA comrades, you know, architecture, the youth league of the party or caucus, and that we raised. Personally, my journey in politics is that I never waited. I showed up myself. There was resistance. Maybe I was not given space, but I still raised my hand. I still pushed. And before then, people see you are visible and they see your value. Always know something, young man, young woman. Don't just there and shout to you and think that you are going to be given spaces. The question will be, yes, you are you. There are many, but what value are you adding? Another thing that I also want to tell you that I learned very early in politics because we are sharing. Don't have a price on how much money you can be given for you to keep quiet. Yeah, I remember one day when I was looking for an opportunity, and I went to a cabinet minister that time. And what he did, he took my CV and then he akabanya hapo chini akanirushia shilingi 500 ya lunch. Kamwambia mimi sikuwa nimekuja kula lunch hapa kwako. I wanted an opportunity. That man was really surprised. So don't be too cheap. But then you say you are being used because you also put a price on yourself. Know what you want, go for it. When you're persistent, there is no such for persistence. Keep vigilant, you'll get it. Now, the other question that I also want to answer, I want to answer only for then I'm done, is the issue of, I've done two, yeah, so two more remaining. The issue of, I've actually done three. The last one is about Veronica. You spoke very well. In fact, at some point, mimi ni advocate wa boys sana. Nilikuwa nashangaa kwani maboys wako wapi bana? Because the first round, the women, you spoke very well. But then I don't want to allow me to differ with you respectfully, Madam Veronica. By 2050, you will not be in prison. You will be leaders. You will be seated where we are today. You will be determining policies of this country. Yeah, and you'll be in the highest echelons of leadership. We will still be there ourselves with the SG and the treasurer, the PS, the prof. We'll be having intergenerational partnerships for leadership towards a better Kenya. Your visions right now may differ because of issues of inclusion and marginalization. But I want to assure you clearly, as the government spokesman, that this government is not intended at all to be one that's associated with abduction and killings. And that is why His Excellency President William Ruto spoke volubly on Thursday during the State of the Nation address, and addressed the dichotomy of this conflict and said people have a right to assemble and to picket in a peaceable manner. That is okay. But at the same time also, they must respect the rights of others. And also, it is also the responsibility of anyone who is aggrieved to raise any issue with IPOA, because it's a constitutional body, an independent office to deal with any grievances. I believe, as a country, we have learned our lessons during the Gen Z protest, and that will not repeat again. Let's join hands and build a country. We are listening, and that is why we have this comrades forum, organized by the AG and the party, so that we can hear you. And let me tell you, President Ruto listens, the party listens, the government listens. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's clap for him. P.S. Before you come in, I had this gentleman I was standing behind him, and he did not clap, so I allow him to clap for the government. Please do. Thank you. And when P.S. as you respond, please also talk to the issue of labor mobility. Normally, in these town halls, we are told a lot of times, why can't you create jobs at home? Yet, you actually in space that actually can justify and answer that question properly.
Thank you very much, Arnold. There were no specific questions directed my way. However, allow me to make two comments. The first one, I think, is the general question of youth involvement or inclusivity in leadership and governance of the country. The answer is absolutely yes. This country is 80% youth. That means the country actually belongs to the youth. Any decisions, any policies, any strategic vision by any government must have youth as its center, because the country does belong to you. So involvement of youth in leadership and governance is very critical. You bring a different angle. You bring issues that basically speak to your generation, which is the youth. You bring innovation. You know, when we talk about innovation and in this space that we talk about nowadays, especially in technological development, it is the youth who are drivers in this space. It will be very difficult for people who are not in that age bracket to be able to conceive and implement those ideas if you do not involve the youth. So there is a role that youth can play in leadership and governance, and it's important that we engage the youth. And you can see that this is a government that listens. I actually want to buttress the point that was made by the government spokesperson, that you can see this is a government that listens to the youth. majority of the critical issues which are raised by you during the protests were responded to adequately by His Excellency the President, and they continue to. In fact, this forum that we're having is as a result of the government listening to the youth. So that we are asking you, what else can you tell us? What else do you want us to do? And this is happening countrywide. It's happening in every region. And I was telling the Secretary General that even after the youth, can we have another session again in Garissa for the other sectors of the demographics, so that we can make it all participatory, we can make it all inclusive, so that all the voices of the different demographics of the Republic are heard, and this then feeds into the policy interventions that the government makes. To the question of labor mobility, I want us to understand one thing, that the greatest, because the second point I was going to make was on the point of university model. Just my 2 cents. I know that the prof has elaborated significantly on it. The greatest asset of this republic is our human capital. It is our human capital. It is what places us as competitive, gives us a competitive advantage over everybody else. The hard work and literacy levels and the knowledge of the Kenyan people is one that is appreciated globally. Labor mobility, therefore, is a phenomena, it's an international phenomena that is not unique to Kenya. Labor migration and labor mobility has been happening since time immemorial. It is more pronounced now because there is globalization. Therefore, it's easier for someone who is in Indonesia to look for labor even in East Africa that is affordable, that is fit for purpose, that is competitive, instead of one that's in that region that they are. That is why it's easier for us to find placements and jobs outside. However, there is a deliberate policy of our government in this space of labor migration and labor mobility. That is because it is one of the solutions that we want to give in as a solution to unemployment. And the prof talked about the strategic intent of our plan. And His Excellency the President underlines jobs, 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 and elevation of unemployment, reduction of unemployment. That becomes a center space of every policy intervention that we make as a government. So when we are saying that our greatest asset is human capital, we have a youth burden unemployment, and that we are not able to sufficiently as an economy generate enough jobs to absorb what the market is producing, then it becomes inevitable for us to get opportunities for our people in first the East African region, and we have so many. You go to Rwanda, there are over 10,000 Kenyans who are working there. His Excellency President Kagame was telling my president in my presence once, thank you very much to Kenya, because from the time of the genocide when 1994 happened, Rwanda had no human capital to build a nation, and that Kenya played a significant role in almost all the sectors of that country to rebuild that nation, and that's what we do for each other in this region. You go to Uganda, you'll find there are 300, 400,000 Kenyans living there, working there. You look at most of the Kenyan businesses are regional. KCB is the largest bank in this region. So is Equity. Our insurance companies do the same thing. Our transport and logistics are everywhere. The people who man and work are also Kenyans alongside the others. So it gives us an opportunity to create employment for our people. And because of the value that we attach to the human capital and our education level. So we as a government have therefore developed a specific policy. Now it's been turned to a sessional paper number 5 after it's been deliberated on by Parliament. And we are putting in place safe and secure methods, routes for our people to go outside there and fend for themselves. And it's important to know that this is a very important step towards ensuring that we develop this country. You see, the diaspora in this country is very important. The diaspora remits over $4 billion every year to this economy. It has even at some point superseded tourism. So by having more of our people go outside there to work, you're not only contributing to the economy of the destination country, but also your country of origin, Kenya, in terms of diaspora remittances and the skills and the knowledge that you get there that you come to build this country. South Korea built itself that way. South Korea sent all the professionals and technical and unskilled and semi-skilled people to Japan, to other North and Southeast Asia, and they developed skills which they came and basically used to build their nation. doing the same thing for this republic. So let's look at it from that angle. On the university model, finally, I know a lot has been said.
Unatazama Sound Candy Talk. Toa sauti yako usikike.
And the biggest contributor of that increased amount is the government itself. So the government is making a deliberate attempt to increase its investment. And you know, education is the largest investment that we make in this country. The largest consumer of our budget in this country goes to the education sector. We are saying that we are going to increase more so that it goes to the higher education and our tertiary institutions, so that we do not, for heaven's sake, compromise on the quality of the education that is turned out from those institutions, so that we continue being superior when it comes to the space of human capital in this country. Thank you.
Professor Machuki, as you respond to your questions, I'd love you to also speak briefly on the new funding model, not new funding model, but the SHIP, SHA, and now what we call PEN.
Thank you very much, Arnold. I will answer questions very quickly so that I have time to explain on the universal health coverage. Arnold, you are the one who said that in the conversations indicating a band of choice. Yes, that opportunity is there, but empirically determine, give information which will place you in a band that you belong. That is empirical. If we leave you to choose, it is subjective. And if you are a researcher, there is much more that is attributed to positivism than phenomenological thinking. Number two, Rachel, students facing fees in universities, why don't they be helped? That is exactly what the new funding model was intended to do. And there should be no student who should be sent away not to do an exam by virtue of fees balance. The Ministry of Education has actually communicated that emphatically as a matter of policy. Number three, scholarships are being given to well-off families and so forth. Now, remember, when you look at the new funding model, government scholarship you apply for. You apply for government scholarship, you apply for loan. Those are the two aspects that you click during your expression of the level of need. There is no one who is going to determine the level of scholarship other than you as a student expressing the need for it. Number two, I want to believe that the Abdi was referring to bursaries and other mechanisms of aiding needy students. In the committee that has been established, there is a conversation whether the NGCDF bursary the county government bursaries and all other bursaries will be consolidated. But that is left for policy and for conversation on whether those can be brought on board into the new funding model so that there is no discrimination in the award of those bursaries. But on the new funding model, you apply both for loan and for scholarship and exhibit your level of need by supplying adequate, relevant, and evidential information. If you are supposed to attach a death certificate, please do. If you are supposed to attach any document, please do, so that it is going to be used to assess your level of need. Number 4, there is a question from Hussein that we as Council of Economic Advisors advise the President on appointments. I think government spokesperson has answered that. And please, from the very basic meaning, where I see it is the Council of Economic Advisors. Underline economic. Underline economic. Appointments, we don't deal with that. Economic. So ask about economic policy. Number 5 is about Baraka. Baraka, your views are imperative. That the new funding model is that you are saying that it is promoting inequalities, it has got administrative complexities, and probably part and parcel of why the committee has been established to look into some of those issues is actually to look at the execution and the implementation. I would not want to say that I am defending, but I'm just giving factual rationale why the new funding model
Kwenye kilele cha Mount Kenya,
hao watu wasiwadanganye. Finance bill chini. Kwa nini sasa mnataka haya magari na hamkununulia mtu muanze kuchukua pesa?
Hadi mabonde ya Keio Valley.
Ita mkutano na hii watuambie barabara gani tuondoe ndio tusiweke kodi ingine ndio tusiweze kujenga hizi barabara.
Hii ni Sound Candy Talk. Tunajipenyeza kwenye vitongoji, mijini na jijini kukuletea matokeo ya matukio kila yanavyoibuka.
And that will be coming in due course. Lastly is about the universal health coverage as one of the pillars of His Excellency the President. And I want to believe that all of us listened to the President's State of the Nation address on Thursday. But let me highlight that universal health care is anchored on advancing access to quality health care at 3 levels: promotive, preventive, and curative. This is going to be made possible through a number of legislative acts of parliament that have been passed to ensure that there is universal access to quality health care. But without going into the laws, because I know there is no time, just go and get into the Social Health Authority website. Get in there and register. The moment you register, you discover that moving from National Health Insurance Fund to Social Health Insurance Fund was a major milestone, or will be a major milestone towards universalizing access to health care. The Social Health Authority, rather than administering the Social Health Insurance Fund, is also making it possible for access to quality health care at level 1, level 2, and level 3 facilities that were hitherto neglected. And through the Facilities Improvement Financing Act, these facilities at the lower level, through government funding, there is going to be access to quality health care for free, and it is funded by government. When you move to level 4, level 5, and level 6, then the Social Health Insurance Fund comes in. This is contributory. Previously, National Health Insurance Fund was only for those who are salaried, and also those who will contribute voluntarily. It was pegged at 500, and those will be the ones in business and those that are self-employed. But now the Social Health Insurance Fund is going to go all the way to the household. It doesn't matter whether you earn or you don't, but the information that is provided during registration is going to be used to means test a household. Means testing a household will determine your level of income. If it is 0, government pays for you. Those are called indigents. And we draw data from social protection because government does cash transfers to those families that are unable. Those ones, government brings them on board and they access healthcare services for free. But if you then provide information and it gives a level of annual income, then the premium is calculated through the information that is provided, and that is what will determine your premium contribution, because it is 2.75% of your income. And it is moving from individuals to households, and therefore every member of the household will access same quality of healthcare services when they get into the facilities. Lastly, accident victims, those who suffer from chronic and critical illnesses. There is the emergency, critical, and chronic illnesses fund that government takes care of, so that once you get an accident, you are not going to be put there to wait in the emergency and you require emergency treatment. So government has brought in that fund, meaning that the National Health Insurance Fund was so limiting in terms of the what it will cover and the kind of products and services that the healthcare products and services that were available. The new universal health coverage and the 3 funds are now going to ensure that Kenyans access healthcare in a manner that is going to promote access to quality, affordable healthcare. The issue about Social Health Authority, this is the authority that is responsible for onboarding health facilities, entering into contract with those facilities, public, private, and mission health facilities, so that they are able to provide services.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let's clap for Prof. Kindly. Fatma, you had questions raised to you kindly in 2 minutes or so.
Yes, thank you so much. There was a question whether Youth Fund is known to the youth of Garissa, and I want to confirm yes, because Youth Fund has supported 506 groups in Garissa County, that is across the 6 constituencies. We have disbursed 31,350,000 to the youth of Garissa. And whether we do create awareness, I also want to confirm we do, both in Mashani and in our online platforms. I want to urge the youth of Garissa, the internet is not just for posting fictitious lifestyle. Use that opportunity to be able to find out the opportunities in government. We are at X Youth Fund Kenya, Facebook Youth Fund Kenya, Instagram Youth Fund Kenya. And I want to confirm to my dear brother that UDA empowers the youth. I myself am 33 years old. I fight for women rep in Mombasa, and I want to thank and appreciate the President of the Republic of Kenya and our FG, Mheshimiwa Hassan Omar, for giving me an opportunity to serve in the board of the Enterprise Development Fund. And I want to conclude by saying that I agree with the government spokesperson that initially you could hear other names like Kibochi and the rest, but now people are, thanks to the president and to the SG, you can hear people from the coast, the likes of Fatma Barayan, Mgeni Mboto, and many others who are serving at different boards of this country. Thank you.
Let's clap for Fatma Barayan. But chair hapo umechoma, sio fictitious lifestyle. Hapo unachoma, lakini wacha tukusamee tu.
I wish to withdraw.
To Uber, kindly, briefly, you've had your colleagues raise concerns and everything else. Listening to them, kindly tell them what the UDA Comrades chapter is about, because you are part and parcel of the leadership. Just in a minute or so, and that they should actually find ways of actually onboarding and being part and parcel of this particular journey.
Before I answer your question about the funding model, we refer to it as the student-centered funding model. I'm on the presidential committee that's improving that funding model.
And how old are you?
We're over 30 students.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay, so wale watu wanasema kuwa hatumchagui vijana. So proceed.
So we are improving the funding model, and we're also improving the MTIs. We're in that part of our work, we're in that stage of our work plan where we'll be interacting with the public through public participation. Now back to the question. To the question, okay, with the Comrades chapter, we've been able to interact with people from various ministries. We're able to come up with programs. One of the programs we're coming up with is to end femicide. So I would say that I think you're not informed. That's the problem. You should be interacting. You should be interacting with the party members and the party officers, and you'll get more information. I feel like the issue is on information, and we're well empowered. I believe I'm a good example of being empowered by the party. Thank you.
Thank you very much. To the young people herein, just a quick one, that you dial *254# when you need to get your hustler fund. It's important for me to remind you that na pia kulipa hustler fund. Kama hujalipa, just dial *254# na ulipe. The other thing is this, for houses, for those who didn't get it, if you want to start your journey for house ownership, you dial *832# and you get your onboarded onto the Boma Yangu process and you move on. And finally, you guys are the learned people here. Please dial *147# and register for Taifa Care or the social health. 1 nation, 47 counties. It's *147# and get on. It's important for me to take you through this because you are listened to. You are the most educated people from where you come from. So I know there is discussion online. Kuna watu wana resist na hizo vitu zingine. So please register, alafu unarudi online, unaendelea kufanya nini? Resist. But do not forget to do what? to register. Mgeni, do you have a point?
Yes, just so that people can be members of UDA. You also don't forget to dial *549 so that you can register to be a member and of course a life member like Hussein. Thank you.
So at this particular point, I'll bring in the treasurer, the national treasurer for UDA, to engage you and then run that particular bit of it. He'll bring in the SG and the other people. And just before we forget, I'll be back. Just before we forget, he is a youth. Ni ile tu hii mwili ni ile inaenda gym na inakula vizuri. Lakini he's a youth. And Rais anaamini kijana na pesa ya chama. Treasurer, come.
Thank you so much, Maliba, SG, PS, government spokesman, and the rest of the team. Na wasalimu hamjambo. Salamu alaikum. Comrades power. Comrades power. Comrades transact. Comrades transact. Comrades wisdom. Comrades wisdom. A breakup should not find you. A breakup should not find you single. Hata sisi watu ya UDA, ile wakati breakup ilikuwa inakuja, tulikuwa tumejipanga, tukatengeneza broad-based government. That is why we are here today. I just want to answer one or two questions, more especially on issues to do with youth. A couple of people, my friend has asked about the issue to do with youth. The young girl over there has asked about the issues to do with youth. We are here as the UDA party, and we formed the Comrades chapter just because we value and we respect the youth of this country. This is the reason we are here today, to listen to you people and we get what you have to say so that we can be able as a government to implement, because we believe that the youth of this country are the leaders of today and not the leaders of tomorrow. Personally, there's someone who has asked, how can UDA assist the young people to join in legislation and issues to do with governance and leadership? I will tell you here today, if you participate in such kind of forums that we are having across the country, you will get yourself in leadership and governance. A good example is our brother who's seated here today, our Secretary General, Hassan Omar Sarai. Hassan Omar Sarai was a student leader in Moi University. Cecil Mbarire was a student leader. Our government spokesman was a student leader in KU. Akina Babu Owino was students leaders. And if you take this opportunity that you're given here today, well, and use it properly to create a good network for yourself, I want to assure you in 2027, from this crowd, we will get members of parliament from here. We will get MCAs from here. We will get senators like Honorable Mungatana from here. So I advise you and I want to encourage you as young people, kindly participate in issues to do with governance and leadership. And the opportunity is here, and the opportunity has been brought by the UDA party. Let me tell you one thing. I'm a member of parliament for Kitutu Church-North. I was elected at 33 years old. I was elected at 33 years old. I went for nomination with who is who. One of them is the Cabinet Secretary for Education right now. The other one is a renowned politician called Don Bosco. The other one had vied 3 times. I went for nomination against all odds. I won. The president said the person who won should be given the ticket. I was lucky I was given the ticket. His Excellency President William Ruto came, held my hand, told me how to run these elections, supported me socially, politically, and financially. Look at me now. I'm the member of parliament for Kitutu Church-North. He came in all my 4 wards. all my forwards and told people about me. It's not that I was so special or I knew anyone. He just said he believes in the young people of this country. After all said and done, you know, for you to be in the secretariat of a party, you must have a vast of experience. I am the only one who is a first-time member of parliament and who is the treasurer of a ruling party. I did not lobby anywhere because I did not have money. William Ruto just believed in me. He believed in the young people of this country. He said, this young man called Japhet Nyakundi from a very small clan, Uko Kisii. Nobody, hakuna mtu alikuwa ananijua. Akasema huyu kijana, wacha tumweke hapa, atushikilie, achunge pesa ya chama. Na tumeichunga sawa sawa. This clearly shows that there is space of young people in this party called UDA. And this clearly shows that William Ruto or the UDA party holds the young people very highly. That is why they supported me. I can give you a good example. This young man here, he comes from your area. He's a director of SIGs in the UDA party. He's called Alak. It's not like this young man knows people. No. But William Ruto believed that this young man can work for the UDA party, and he gave him an opportunity. So I want to encourage each and every one of you inside here that believe in yourself. Always, nobody should tell you that you cannot make it. The young women of this place, come out, vie for political seats. We are having UDA elections very soon. Come out, participate, get into UDA elections, and I believe that you are going to be winners. I always tell people, any young person, number one, wake up, dress up, and show up, and things will always work for you. I don't want to talk so much because of time. I am sure most of the things my SG will talk about, but that is what I wanted to say, and I wanted to tell you as the marginalized community, always, you are the best people. By the way, if there are people who work very hard, is this Somalis there? Nyinyi na sisi wa Kisii na wa Kikuyu tunang'ang'ana sana, na tujitume very soon. Nyinyi Wajaluo mko na space yenu, sisi tujitume kwa biashara. We are top. If you see the people who go out of the country to look for job opportunities, most of them are us. And we are the ones who work. I don't care huko Minnesota. Even so, there's a Kisii who get elected in Minnesota. I was there sometimes back, and I found so many Somalis doing business over there. So let us encourage each other. Let us encourage the young people of this country. And I want to tell you that as government, all these policies that we are coming up with, be it the university funding model, be it the universal health care, be it the housing, these policies, we are doing them for the benefit of our people and for the benefit of the people of Kenya. The universal health care, Kibaki tried it, it did not work. Uhuru tried it, it did not work. But both of them knew that that is best for the people of Kenya. With William Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza government, we cannot fail on the university funding model and on the universal health care. We take what you tell us seriously, and we will make sure that we implement for the benefit of the people of Garissa and for the benefit of the people of Kenya. So thank you so much, na Mola awe nanyi. So kwa hayo mengi na machache, sasa ningetaka kumuita Senator wa Garissa, Honorable Tana River, Honorable Danson Mungatana, who is also my guy pale tunacheza naye basketball pale basketball. Asante sana.
Asanteni sana. Mimi ningependa kuchukua nafasi hii kusema machache, na kwa sababu sasa tumeanza kuzeeka, ni vizuri kupitisha maneno mengine kwa vijana kama nyinyi. Ya kwanza, Sisi tulianza pale mlipo nyinyi vijana. Miaka mingi sana iliyopita, Mheshimiwa Munya na mimi tulikuwa tunapigania kiti Kenya Law Student Society Nairobi. Kwa hivyo tulikuwa kwa mambo ya students. Kwa hivyo nyinyi pale mlipoanza, you are in the right direction. Na nimemsikiza yule, it's good to tell you so that you can also start charting your plan. Nikaenda Mombasa kufanya sheria. Na nilipoenda Mombasa, within the first year of setting up a legal practice, nilipigania kiti. Tuko na Mombasa Law Society pale na nikakuwa weka hazina. The next time nilisimama, nilipigania Law Society of Kenya. Nikakuwa coast representative. Na president wetu alikuwa Rachel Omolo, the former defense minister. Rachel Omamo. Nikatoka hapo na tulikuwa na wazee wale wa siasa wa zamani kama Mirugi Kariuki. Tulikuwa huko kwa Law Society wakati huo. Na nikatoka nikapigania bunge wa Garseni. Mimi ni senator wenu hapa karibu hapa jirani. Ukivuka hivi huko Tana River, ukivuka huko Garissa. Na ninawaeleza hivi ya kwamba safari yako, it is for you to show up like mwenyekiti hapa treasurer amesema, you must show up and you must be persistent. So don't give up. Hata leo ukiona hukuwa supported, because I was very touched by that young man and I want to have your number nikiwa natoka hapa, because your next election I must come to where you are standing and to support. You must keep showing up. You must be persistent hata ukiwa na setbacks. Mimi nilikaa, kuna mwingine hapa ameuliza kwa nini wengine wanachaguliwa na sisi hatuchaguliwi. Let me tell you, you stay in the party, we will take care of you. The party will take care of you. You stay in a political formation, the political formation will take care of you. Lakini we kaa nje, kaa pembeni, and then wait for help. Nobody will come to help you when you stay huko pembeni. Come out, identify yourself with the party and we shall help you. Mimi nimesimama kwa mambo ya chama. Na mtu alini advice, ni mheshimiwa alikuwa whip wetu miaka hiyo. Na alikuwa mjumbe wa Nairobi, Honorable Norman Nyaga. Norman Nyaga, when I was elected, he told me, Mheshimiwa, stay in the party. Stay in the party if you want, because you have come here very young. Mheshimiwa Nyakundi alikuja na 33 years. Wakati sisi tuliingia in 2002, I was only 32 years and I was the youngest guy. Mpaka Mheshimiwa Khalifa alipokufa na ile ndege, kijana yake alikuja na 28 by the by-election. And Norman Nyaga said, stay in the party. So I'm also saying to you, stay in your party, stay in your political formation, and be loyal to your party. Now we will take care of you. Nimekaa mjumbe, nimekuwa waziri, nimetoka kwa serikali, nimetoka kwa siasa. Because when the new constitution came, nilienda kwa watu wa Tana River hapa, nikaomba kiti ya governor. Sikupata, but because I was in the formation, I became chairman of the Kenya Ports Authority. Nanieleza ndugu, mnanielewa? Lakini, so don't leave the party. COMESA Competition Commission, CCC, based in Malawi. And I was still practicing my law.
Na nikakaa, tuliporudi hapa tena, nikasimama, watu wa Tana River wakanipa kiti ya senator. And I'm telling you again, stay in your party. Hata kama tumekuwa na mashida, tumekuwa na nini, stay in your party. And because I'm talking to comrade, life is a journey. Sometimes you'll get setbacks, but you will always stand up and stay with your party. Unaona hapa tuko na mheshimiwa Nyakundi kwa basketball. Na Nyakundi, by the way, ni yule mchezaji wa kutegemewa. Sema kutegemewa. Without him, we can't win. And we are, by the way, mheshimiwa, I hope you'll be there for the East African Games again. Without him, now you know those relationships. Kwa chama tuko, kwa michezo tuko, na kila mahali. And let me tell you, there's no way tomorrow ati mheshimiwa amekosa kiti, mimi pengine ni waziri, mimi ni prime minister, mimi ni president, ama ni ambassador, ama ni nani, anti mheshimiwa nipigie simu alafu niseme hapana, sitashika. There's no way that will happen. Stay in the party. Register people in the party. We will see you. Let me tell you, effort doesn't get lost. Jaribu vile utaweza. Hii chama itakukuza, hii chama itakutunza. Finally, wewe ni comrade na umesoma degree yako, but don't give up on your studies. Mimi hata kama ni mzee, nimeenda my masters, na jana, by the way, professor, I have a special respect for professors. Jana nilikuwa kwa panel for my second defense PhD. Na nilikuwa terrorized. Let me tell you, these guys are not good guys. But I am saying this so that you don't stop growing. As old as I am, although I look young. And usikue complainer, ingia barabarani and focus. Kama wewe unataka siasa, don't be faint-hearted. And finally, nataka kushukuru sana rais, makamu wa rais, kwa sababu wao ndio wametoa hii vision ya kwamba party iende mashinani. Thank you, Secretary General. Thank you, Mweka Hazina. And I'm so happy to see you here. That's why I left everything to come and tell you people, thank you. What you're doing is a good job. Now, unaona hizi colors. I'm the head of delegation for Pan-African Parliament. Na nilikuwa huko South Africa wakati wanafanya kura. Unaona hizi colors, hizi ni colors za ANC. They have yellow, they have black, they have green. The reason ANC lost government, the reason ANC did not get more than 50% so that it can form government, ni kwa sababu ANC was not doing what UDA is doing. Wananchi walikuwa wanalia kwamba hamkuji mashinani kuongea na wao. So I'm so happy, Bwana SG, mheshimiwa. Please keep it up. Na sisi kama wajumbe wenu ambao mmetuchagua kwa Senate, mmetuchagua kwa huko, we will keep supporting you. We will stand with you. Na pale mtatuhitaji, we will support you. And we will spare our time to come and tell you that we will support this party. Because when it listens, ndio tunageuza maneno. Vile watu wakiongea kwa ukali na nini, tunachukua hiyo maneno and we improve the party. And UDA will be a very strong party come 2027. And I am sure we will form government yet again. Thank you and God bless you. Asante sana. Karibu, Secretary General.
Asante sana. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yangu when Nyakundi was speaking, akasema SG atakuja kumaliza yale mengine, lakini kusema kweli yote yamemalizwa. Most of the issues that were asked have been responded to. Mimi yangu ni shukrani tu for these young people who have shown up here today. Kitu kimoja tu nitawakumbusha. Whatever you seek, whatever office you want to get into, whatever your ambition, whatever your mission, have one foundation: faith. Yote utapanga lakini kuna yule anayepanga. Wewe utapanga nomination yako, utafikiria ni yule alikuingilia. Hiyo ikupangiwa. Sijui yule alikupangia. Ni ile nomination yako ikujaliwa. Foundation of faith is the most important cornerstone of your life. Unaamka asubuhi, unajua Mungu akukupangia ile. I have lost an election. Nikaamka asubuhi, dusted my trousers, came to Nairobi, nikaambiwa nitapangwa hapa, mimi nikasema mnipange yale. Siku moja nimekaa tu kwa mkahawa na huyu ndugu yangu Dubat. Wallahi Mungu is my witness. Nikaona simu ya rais, akaniambia sisi tunataka sasa uende ukaongoze chama cha UDA. Sikuipangia, sikuiamkia. Niliona jioni, nikaambiwa nende niongoze UDA. Whatever you do, usilaumu mwingine, look forward with faith. Professor Kindiki, I and Professor Machuki have been in the same university, in the same class with Professor Kindiki. When he was appointed deputy president, and we were sitting and looking at some of our pictures, we said, this is not our work, it's the work of God. Kuwa na imani na Mungu. Na nyinyi kama sisi Waislamu na wale ambao ni Wakristo, imani yetu yote must be God. Work hard, play your part, leave the rest to Qadar, to his power, the majesty. La pili, nitaongea yale mambo yaliulizwa kwa uchache. The concerns about UDA. Mimi nilipoingia katika hichi chama kama katibu mkuu, nikajipanga na ndugu yetu hapa Nyakundi, nikajipanga na Mheshimiwa Cecily Mbarire, tukajipanga na kina Aaron Cheriot. It is a deliberate choice that the future of this party must be youthful. That's why tuko hapa leo katika hii town hall, because in you is Kenya's future, is the party's future. Na wengine wataweza kuongoza sasa, wengine wataongoza baadaye. Mimi nilipokuwa katika university, mimi ndio nilikuwa kiongozi wa wanafunzi. Nikimwambia Professor Kindiki right, anasema naenda right. Sasa yeye ndio naibu wa rais na deputy party leader. Akisema left, mimi naenda left. Everything has a time and a phase. Unaweza kukimbia Mungu akakupa mapema. At the age of 31, the late Mwai Kibaki appointed me commissioner of the KNCHR. At the age of 36, watu wa Mombasa wakanichagua kama senator wa Mombasa. Hiyo si ujanja peke yake, ni Mungu. Wewe ukimaliza university, wacha kutafuta kazi ya kibochi ya kuwa chairman ya board ambayo unakutana siku moja kwa mwezi mbili. Enda tafuta kazi zile zinazokuwa advertised by the various state agencies and other private corporations. That's where you need to be. A full-time job, fulfilling and pursuing your dreams eventually. Article 55 of the Constitution of Kenya says the rights of the young people. Article 57 talks about the rights of the elderly. Huwezi kuhangaisha wazee kama vile tunasema huwezi kuhangaisha vijana. Sasa Major General Kibochi amefanywa chairman ya State Corporation. Huyu Fatma Barani huyu, kazi ya kwanza alikuwa aende kuwa ni ile Salaries and Remuneration Commission, where the president felt she needed a full-time job. Kidogo ikawa inataka miaka 10 ya experience, yakawa haijafika. Akapatiwa chairperson. Because when you are young, Kibaki gave me a full-time job to be a commissioner, to show my talent, to show my skill, to pursue my education and to pursue my dreams. Wala kuwa chairman ya board, hizi zinatangazwa si kazi za retirement. Ni gari kingine. Mtu amefanya miaka 20-30 amekwenda retirement, tumwambia tulete ile ujuzi wako kurani hii board, lakini katika ile taasisi yule anayeongoza ni kijana, full-time job. So angalia katika advertisements where they want you Mwanzo sisi hapa, and I want to encourage ourselves not to lose this legacy. Huyu Nyakundi juzi aliniambia katika university nyingi sijui ngapi za Kenya, vice chancellor kutoka Kisii ni kama wangapi? 4 5. Na sina shida. Lakini sasa sisi pia ukiangalia sijui yule ni major general, yule ni lieutenant general, na hatuja complain sio? So, ukiangalia ndugu zetu wa Somali, ndugu zetu wa Pwani, sisi ndio major general na lieutenant general. Turudi huko kwa jeshi pia. Wale wakwenda mbio waende mbio, wale wakwenda kusoma waende kusoma. Kila mtu has his own talent and his own blessings. The function of marginalization in Kenya, sote tukakimbilia katika security agencies. Sasa watu ikionekana sijui pale kuna Muislamu mmoja, pale kuna Msomali mwingine, pale yule lieutenant general ni huyu, pale yule major general ni huyu. Wasema hao Waislamu blessed with entrepreneurship. I go everywhere in the world. Nikifika, there is a community that of Somalis in the diaspora, both from Kenya and the Horn of Africa. Very dynamic. Mungu amewabariki na biashara. Wewe wengine labda wanaenda mbio. Apart from Mo Salah, not Mo Farah. Alikimbilia Britain. Hapa hakuna mtu amekuwa na issue Kipgetich akishinda. Sio? Ama Kipyegon shinda Faith na mwingine. Huyo mwingine afanye biashara, yule mwingine akimbie. Hiyo ndio nchi. A country is based on the richness of its diversity and its talent. Kwa hivyo pia yule kijana Abiweli nimekusikia, lakini kuna yule mwingine pia alizungumza juu ya mambo ya university. I urge you as university students and other students from higher institutions of higher learning to stay as one. I ran to be chair of the Moi University Student Organization way back. Wale watu ambao ni minorities time hiyo walikuwa tumejikusanya, tunajiita Nepusa upande mmoja na kwa Musa bali nyingine. Northeastern Province University Student Association na Coast Moi University Student Association. University iko na watu 7,000. Tukakuwa na joint meeting to discuss candidacy yangu. Mmoja akasema Nepusa walikuwa na 80 students. Kwa Musa ilikuwa na 110. Hiyo gocho yote condition ngapi? 190. University iko na watu 7,000. How do you win? Ukatoka nikajiuza kama Mkenya. Young student who came to the university, crossed the mountains mpaka Rift Valley, nikaingia mpaka Eldoret. Na nikaenda mpaka kule Keses. And I asked to be the leader of that university. I urge you to look at the content of each other's characters so that you can advance your interest, your common interest, and to advance the state of your country in terms of unity of the country. Kwa hivyo, Kindiki sasa, Professor, wajua nimezoea sana kumuita hivyo. Professor Kindiki is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Ni kweli, anatoka pembe fulani ya Kenya, lakini pia Kindiki ni kama sisi tu jamii zile hazisabiki sana. But he is there because of his values. He is there because of the ideas he represents. And when we continue to have a country that is represented by values, ideas, and character, it is possible that one day, even a Somali person from Mgiriama, Mpokomo, can be president of Kenya. Lakini tukiangalia na ile sera, tunahesabu numbers na maeneo. Kama mwingine akatuambia shares. Kaambia wewe na share yako enda, sisi tutabakia na share yetu. Share yetu ni ya Wakenya wote. Everybody is included, inclusive government for all Kenyans without discrimination to any. Hiyo ndio ile serikali tunatafuta sisi. Nilikuwa nataka kuangazia swala moja because I have to speak about it. About the party. Sisi hii chama We're trying to revamp it by adding constituencies of passion and support. Kitu ya kwanza tumeanza ni kufanya hizi comrades chapter. And we will expand these town halls as the most effective and tested means of direct democracy. Ile tunaongea moja kwa moja. Dada yetu pale akatuambia mambo ya abduction, yule akatuambia mambo ya new funding model, yule akatuambia mambo ya afya, yule akatuambia mambo ya ujenzi ya nyumba. And the courage of these panelists, technocrats, lisemwe, lirekebishwe, lile zuri lipelekwe mbele. Some of you, we are told in Islam that we read. So I encourage you all to read. Not just blog. Kuna mtu anachukua ka fake news anapost, anatembeza na kila mtu anaanza kuamini. Mtu anachukua anaweka fake. Sasa hata ile ya ukweli mtu anaweka fake anaitembeza. So I'm urging you to be factual, to go deep. Kwa hivyo tukasema tulete hii. Lakini ya muhimu tutaanzisha taasisi yetu ya training. We are in collaboration with other major political parties in the world to start an academy. Ili tukija sasa badala ya kuja kuzungumza kwa masaa matatu hapa, tukae katika hiyo shule hata wiki mzima, tumenyane, tulimane, tuzungumze, mwisho tukubaliane. We must agree to disagree, we must agree to move together to perfect this union. Hapa nimeona diversity kubwa sana. Nimesikiza kwa yale majina, wengine wametoka mbali kutoka makwao. Don't make them feel aliens in their own country. Maana hata wewe siku moja unaweza enda kule eneo la karibu na kwao. Mimi nilikuwa hosted with utmost respect in Rift Valley. Wakasema na siku hizo kwa tukipigana na Rais marehemu Daniel Moi. Wakaniambia wewe shujaa, wewe napatiwa Mursi, wewe endelea mbele, hata hii mzee sisi wengine hapana kukubaliana na yeye. So host each other as one country. Na hiyo ndio ile Kenya tutaka kujenga na chama tutaka kutengeza. Kwa hivyo inshallah tutakuja tena na tena na tena. Mpokee salamu His Excellency. Yeye anajua sisi tuko katika Garissa leo. Na yeye pia atakuja hapo katika matembezi yake rasmi. I will urge him to have another town hall with these young people so that he can speak to them directly. Kwa hivyo hakuna kitu kile nimeacha, manake yote, lakini nimekumbuka, nimeona hapa, nimewajua sometimes hii akili hata kama inaweza kushikashika hapa na pale. The one part I want to take home, ndugu yangu umekaa hapa na wengine katika uongozi wa UDA wako hapa. These young men and women have only asked us for one thing: priority in nominations. They know the society that they live in, if we do not put our feet down to see who is putting real effort, they stand no chance. Na mimi pia msifanye, mimi nimeoa Msomali. Most of you might not know that. Mimi wakana wanawake wananiita Dumashi, wanaume wananiita Sheikh. I'm married to a Somali woman. And I know, even as we talk as men, we must strategically and deliberately empower the women in our society so that they can be able to na wengine wengi prism of productivity and the prism of national contribution. Kwa hivyo nyingi ya zile highest contributions are the ones that are nominated. Sio mtu anakaa mahali analeta list yake. Hata sisi tunajuana na president, lakini sisi tunajuana na president ili kumwambia afanye yale mazuri kwetu. I have had opportunities, wacha nisiseme, lakini ile board members ambayo mimi nimeweka, Alhamdulillah, nashukuru Mungu. This has been the best government for the minorities since independence. Karibu kila kaunti yetu iko na kama haina waziri iko na PS. Hapa Garissa naweza nikawahesabia mimi. PS, Iala na wengine, board members, chair. Mimi Mombasa sasa tuko sisi wawili cabinet level, Joho, mimi, Mohamed Dagar, ambassador, watu wengine wengi, madirector kina Mboto na wengine. Kwa hivyo kina Fatma. So kwa hivyo sisi, lakini katika wote, God is my witness, hakuna mtu hata mmoja ambaye mimi na yeye damu yetu iko pamoja. None of them is my relative. I only looked at those people who worked hard. This young lady, ran for women rep. She lost by a mere 10,000 votes in Mombasa against an ODM candidate. Ruto was the chair of the youth panel, or the youth wing of Mombasa County. Na kila mtu, hakuna mtu hata mmoja na usiana naye kwa damu moja kwa moja. So you must be fair as a leader. Hautozikwa peke yako na jamaa zako, utazikwa na watu wote. Let people talk highly and greatly about you in eternity. Kwa hivyo sisi pia tutatafuta formula, young women who will associate with UDA. Yule ambaye atakuwa na mmoja wawili wake, well and good. Lakini wale ambao tutakawaona katika mstari ya kwanza katika kumsaidia William Ruto na serikali ya Kenya Kwanza na serikali ya UDA. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio ile sababu kitu tutafanya sisi kwa pamoja, kuhakikisha that there is fairness, so that Salat na wengine should not feel that the process has been fair, so that you work hard, and when you work hard, we're able to reciprocate your efforts by making sure that you get the benefits of your own struggle. Kama wewe ndugu yetu Dubat, hakuna mtu alipendelea. Abdi Dubat led President William Ruto's campaign. Yeye ndo alikuwa chairman wetu, sote kwa tunamuita chairman, ndani ya ofisi ya minorities, taking care of 16 counties of the region, of the country. Kutoka kule West Pokot mpaka inazunguka Northern Kenya, Coast region inamalizikia na Narok na Kajiado. Hakupendelewa, alifanya, akajitolea, na rais akaona kujitolea kwake na akampatia heshima yake. Na sasa hii Abdi Dubat is my member of the East African PS. Ile huduma ya Abdi Dubat and utendakazi wake, everybody has noticed it in the entire East Africa. A humble boy from Garissa is today one of the most formidable permanent secretaries in the East African community, assembling nine countries. Na wacha asiseme ukweli wa mambo, wa viongozi kutoka Garissa akiwemo Duale na Abdi Dubat played a major role for Somalia to be part of the East African community. Kwa hayo mengi, namtakia heri na watakia wengine wote heri ambao wamekuwa hapa na sisi, na mpokee salamu za kiongozi wetu, deputy wetu, chaledi wetu, ndugu yetu Cecily Mbarire na wengine wote. Mungu awabariki watu wa Garissa, Mungu awabariki vijana katika taasisi tofauti tofauti. May you all be blessed, may you all achieve inshallah what you aspire for, and may God give you what is the best for you. Mungu awabariki.
Let's all stand up.
Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tulilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, ili tudumu jumuiya yetu.
God bless you. Go in peace.
Tunajipenyeza kwenye vitongoji, mijini na jijini kukuletea matokeo ya matukio kila yanavyoibuka. Mbashara. Tazama Sound Candy Talk kwa habari sahihi. Kutoka Molo, Nakuru County hadi Elmolo, Marsabit County. Hii ni Sound Candy Talk.
Today is more painful than last year was. Number one. Today is more painful than last year was. Number one, as I speak now, there's a Kenyan who is unable to access healthcare services because Chief Shah has failed. Number two, William Ruto has attempted to bring in Adani Group into Kenya. Adani has now been indicted by the US. In fact, there's now a warrant of arrest on Adani. Number three, the killings of Gen Zs. We lost over 67 Kenyans. To date, we've not seen accountability. Number four, we have abductions going on in this country. Number five, we have the botched Haiti mission. When it started, this was a US-Kenya mission. A mission that now we are told is now the burden of the Kenyan taxpayer to pay for it. We didn't...
Basi wa Kenya, wakati mnapotazama, hapa ni Eldama Ravine. Tunaona gari ya serikali moja kwa moja. Halafu hapo nyuma yetu ni ushuru. Ushuru yetu ndio inakimbia. Ndio wanashuria sasa. Ushuru. Ndio ushuru yetu. Dr. Ruto Sirma. Kibarek mwenyewe. Ndio Lawi. Ndio ushuru. Tajim. Ndio ushuru yetu inaenda jamani. Angalieni magari. Ndio magari ya ushuru yetu hii. Ndio ushuru. Ndio yetu ushuru. Ushuru. Ndio ushuru yetu. Baka Baringo County ushuru. Hii ni atoji miko sawa hii.
Wewe akimutaka pole pole anangono.
Woi, ndio mali yetu jameni zinaenda yote. Ayotoji tunatambua hiyo haina shida. Forest iko sawa. Hii ni ushuru yetu mnaona ndio hizi. Mabrado, ushuru.
Pole pole.
Ndio ushuru yetu inaenda. Hii ni private. Hii ni private sawa.
Wakunywe mafuta yetu tu pole pole.
Ndio hii. Ushuru yetu inaenda ndio hiyo.
Wakunywe mafuta yetu pole pole.
Wanakunywa ndio ingine. Ushuru yende. Vile mnapoangalia hii ndio ushuru yetu yote, hata hii yote. Hii ni mali yetu ya Kenya inaenda pole pole na mna ushuru.
Na wakunywe mafuta yetu.
Mitiriat kura yanda tafsir magababa endranu.
Mitiriat awara tafsir kura sirma.
Unatazama Sound Candy Talk. Toa sauti yako usikike.